Hello. Good morning. Thanks for coming here today. If you're here for pho, you're at the right place. If you're not, by mistake here, well, the door is locked. You have to wait here and until I finished. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Shou Ho. I work for Broadcasting Board of Governors, the federal agency that oversees Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, Radio Free Asia, Radio and TV Marti, and so on. Together, those broadcasters bring news to people around the world in 60 languages and reach 175 million people every week. I do some internet anti-censorship R&D and other IT-related stuff, and I also create pho. Let's talk about censorship. We live in the United States, and we can browse the internet freely. Well, almost, except when you're using your company or public libraries, networks, or if you work for the DoD. However, for internet users live in certain countries, things are not so bright. Some governments censor what their internet users can see. For example, you're in China, and you want to browse the Voice of America's website. You'll likely get an error message from your web browser telling you the website doesn't exist or that you cannot connect to the website. This is probably because some governments think Voice of America's website is evil. If you ever laid eyes on the Voice of America's website, the evil force will probably infect you with some terrible disease, cause you to vomit yesterday's Kung Pao chicken, and make your head spin like your grandfather's turntable. But seriously, governments censor the internet for different reasons. Some vow to protect their citizens from porn. Others censor the internet for their own political gains. There are many ways that a country can censor the internet. The most common method is to use some type of firewall to block IP addresses, domain names, protocols, and network packets. Most countries use blacklists to keep track of indecent websites. However, some countries, such as China, have very sophisticated censorship systems that are capable of blocking validating web pages on the fly. In other words, if the system detects the web page contains indecent materials, the system can disconnect the connection between the user and the website on the fly. So here's the big problem. Some internet users in censored countries want to read Voice of America's news. However, the website is inaccessible, and so are the RSS feed, the Facebook page, and the Twitter updates. The number of ways that a user can circumvent the censorship. First, you can try to find a web-based proxy, such as the ones maintained by Siphon. However, unless you know where to look or have some social connections, web-based proxy can be hard to find. Second, you can download some circumvention programs, such as FreeGate or Tor. In many ways, these programs are more secure and offer better support for multimedia contents than web-based proxies. Third, you can purchase VPN access. This is the one case that many can buy happiness. If you can afford the price, paid VPN service is probably your best bet for circumventing censorship. VPN supports most network applications, so you can use it to browse web, streaming videos, use FTP to download files, check emails, or do almost everything with it. So now there will be soon a new tool. It's called FO. FO stands for Fee over Email. FO was created to serve two purposes. First, allows users to receive email contents such as RSS feeds, documents, or small programs. Second, provides an additional channel for other circumvention tools to reach their audience. As the name implies, FO is based on email technologies. But exactly what is FO and how it works? I found the simplest explanation is by telling people that FO sends contents, such as RSS feeds, through emails, much like attaching a file in the email. Most people will get the idea, but we're asked the question, why do we need FO then? That's a tough question. But I finally came up with a good reason. FO fetches the content for you, whether it is an RSS feed or downloadable program or a document. Without FO, you won't be able to get the content you want because the target website is blocked in the country where you live in. To many people, email is just email. There's nothing special about it. However, there's one thing that most people overlooked. It's more difficult to block an email than to block a website. Why? A website usually has a dedicated IP address or a dedicated domain name, or both. It's quite unusual that a website will change its IP address and the domain name regularly, or else your customers won't be able to find you. An email, on the other hand, can be sent from a different email address and a different mail server. The only thing that a sender needs to reach you is your email address. In addition, if you are using an email service in a free country, such as Gmail or Hotmail, there's no way that a censor can block the emails that are received, even if the censor knows the sender's email address. So the only way for a censor to block all offending emails is to block all foreign email servers. So unless you live in North Korea, well, Mr. Kim is basically saying that no one needs to have contact with outside world. It is highly unlikely that a country will block all foreign email servers. And this is what FO is betting on, that we'll always be able to obtain an email account from a service provider that is outside of your home country. So FO can use it to fetch contents for you. Now let's look at the more complicated version of how FO works. When a user requests a content, say for example RSS feed, the FO server will fetch the content from the RSS server, pack the content into an email, and then send the email to the user through the FO mail server. Once the email arrives the user's mail server, the FO client will initiate an encrypted connection to the mail server and download the email security. The faux client will then extract the content from the email and pass it to the user. Please note, there are two critical components in the diagram. Number one, the connection between the faux client and the user's mail server must be encrypted. The purpose of the encryption is to circumvent content filtering imposed by the government. Number two, the user's mail server is outside the censor region. In other words, the user must obtain an email account from a service provider outside her or his home country. The reason is to prevent the censor from forcing the service provider to block faux emails. These two components are the keys which allow faux to effectively deliver contents to users in censored countries. Now let's look at some key features that faux offers. Faux can deliver RSS or other contents to the users. Faux is capable of circumventing internet censorship. Unlike web-based proxy, faux does not need to keep changing its IP address or domain name in order to circumvent censorship. Faux is capable of pushing contents to the user when necessary. This is useful if faux ever needs to patch a critical security flaw or need to make an emergency announcement. So faux is very difficult to block. In order to effectively block the faux service, the censor needs to block all foreign mail servers. If you are a developer and are interested in writing your faux software, you will be delighted to know that faux is easy to implement because it is based on email technologies. You can find a lot of software libraries on the internet that will allow you to create your own version of faux easily. We will also make faux source code available to the public so you can use it in your software as well. Because of faux relies on email technologies, it has relatively low infrastructure costs if you decided you need to host your faux server. So, faux is not a silver bullet for an internet censorship problems. Here are some limitations. Faux needs the user to set up foreign email accounts. Although it shouldn't be too difficult, it is an extra step that users need to take in order to use faux. Faux is not designed to deliver large-size contents. For example, users cannot use faux to get video files. Faux also is not designed for web browsing or other texts, which the users expect immediate feedbacks. Unlike web-based proxy, users need to download faux client in order to use the faux service. This can become a challenge if the faux project website is blocked in the user's home country. This is not a problem unique to faux. Other circumvention tools also have the same challenge. Unlike Tor, FreeGate, and Siphon, faux is not a proxy solution. It is created to help users to receive small contents such as RSS, small programs, documents, and new proxy addresses. Since faux is based on email, it can easily be ported to other platforms. In its initial release, faux will support Microsoft Windows only. However, We hope to release versions that will support other platforms in the near future. And we are particularly interested in the mobile platforms such as Android and the upcoming Windows Phone 7. We are planning to release the public beta in September, so please follow us closely on our project website. We will release the full client, its source code, and the documentation at the same time. We hope that you can help us to test the full system after it is released. Have helpful. While we have some ambitious goals, we have very limited resource and manpower. So it will be great if you can help. So if you have the programming skill and have some free time, you might want to give it a shot and create your own full client. Another way that you can help us is to tell others about Flow. The more people know about Flow, the more supports we may get. So please spread the word. Also, if you have suggestions on how we can improve Flow, please don't hesitate to let us know. To summarize what I have talked about today, Flow is a tool to complement other circumvention tools. It can help other circumvention tool developers to keep in touch with their users. Flow is designed to deliver small contents to users. Flow is very difficult to block. And also Flow is not a proxy solution, and it can help users to obtain other proxy programs. Flow is not designed for web browsing or other activities that requires immediate feedback. If you are interested in testing or developing Flow, please check our website regularly. I will try to keep it up to date as much as possible. Here's the address: code.google.com/p/flow-project. Okay, again, thank you very much for attending today's section. And I would like to also thank DEFCON giving me the opportunity to speak in front of everyone here today. Thank you. Radio Free Asia, Radio and TV Madi, and so on. Together, those broadcasters bring news to people around the world in 60 languages and reach 175 million people every week. I do some internet anti-censorship R&D and other IT-related stuff, and I also create Flow. Let's talk about censorship. We live in the United States, and we can browse the internet freely. Well, almost, except when you're using your company or public use of the internet. The most common method is to use some type of firewall to block IP addresses, domain names, protocols, and network packets. Most countries use blacklists to keep track of indecent websites. However, some countries, such as China, have very sophisticated censorship systems that are capable of blocking validating web pages on the fly. In other words, if the system detects the web page contains indecent materials, libraries, networks, or if you work for the DoD. However, for internet users live in certain countries, things are not so bright. Some governments censor what their internet users can see. For example, you're in China, and you want to browse the Voice of America's website. You are likely get an error message from your web browser telling you the website doesn't exist or that you cannot connect to the website. This is probably because some governments think voice. Hello. Good morning. Thanks for coming here today. If you're here for phone, you're at the right place. If you're not, by mistake here, well, the door is locked. You have to wait here and until I finished. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Shou Ho. I work for Broadcasting Board of Governors, the federal agency that oversees Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty. Americans' website is evil. If you ever laid eyes on the Voice of America's website, the evil force will probably infect you with some terrible disease, cause you to vomit yesterday's kung pao chicken, and make your head spin like your grandfather's turntable. But seriously, governments censor the internet for different reasons. Some vow to protect their citizens from porn. Others censor the internet for their own political gains. There are many ways that a country can censor